Take two.
What is it?
So this is me talking as I stayed up the entire night trying to make this video. I was editing the video, and as I was editing the video, I realized that I can't put this video out. I got a little bit too much mixed up and went down a wormhole that I did not want to go down in that video, because you guys know I lead with my heart on things that upset me. So if you're watching this, you already know of the massacre that happened in El Paso, Texas, as someone hated Hispanics so much that they were willing to drive 9.5 hours all the way there just to murder as many people as possible. I mean, that's crazy. 9.5 hours. All that time to think. But nothing was going to stop this young guy from murdering innocent people. Apologize. It's really hard to do this and trying to stay neutral of going down a rabbit hole that I wanted to go down. And it's really hard because if you could see my screen and you can see all of these websites and information I have that leads you from one mass murder to one mass murder to one mass murder to one mass murder. And it's the same thing over and over again. And I realize the biggest issue in this country is in our inability to see that terrorists don't have to always look like this, but they can look like this too. As a matter of fact, when I think of our inability, looking at the facts and the numbers, even going back to 114 mass murders in the United States, and the majority of those mass murders, the person looked like this. And you see footage of the Middle East and people with those large semi-automatic weapons. And then you look at the numbers to show how much more mass murders from gun violence comes from the United States than those countries in the Middle East. And I'll let you guys sort the rest of that out, of how you feel if you let any kind of affiliation cloud your judgment over these numbers. But that's not what I do here on my channel. I look at facts like other YouTubers look at facts. But I remind you of humanity. That's what I do here on this channel. Remind you of humanity. So when I first heard of the mass murder in El Paso, Texas, the first thing I thought about, because it was still going on, I thought that if this is still going on, what about the guy who works in the back of Walmart, who probably has his AirPods in, driving a forklift, or sneaking around back to smoke a cigarette? I had a friend when I was in high school. I worked at Burger King, and he worked at Walmart. And I get off at Burger King and walk over to Walmart, and then he'd hide in the back, and we'd talk until it's time for him to get off, and then we'd walk home. So I thought about those people, and I thought that they don't understand the immediate danger that's inside the building. They're out back, they can't hear anything. So we here in America could possibly know of the danger they're in before they can know of it. And since we know this within a first split second, before we think about any human beings or any human lives, we've already turned this political. We hear these few words: mass murder shooting, multiple victims dying, and we think if I'm left wing, let's already start the propaganda of no gun control. If I'm right wing, let's go ahead and start it of more. We're already tweeting and talking about this possibly before everybody in the building understand what's going on. As people are still tripping over blood spots in the ground and dead bodies on the ground, as people are panicking and still running in total fear of their lives, as phones are going off while they're trying to hide somewhere from the killer. But their phone is going off because their mother, their father, their parents think or know that their child went to Walmart at this time. The personal humanization, as we remove that from them, they are numbers. They're part of our political argument. But to the family close by, I want to know why such isn't home. Did they go there? They said they were planning to go there. We have already turned this to politics. And this is so sad. My last video was over 35 minutes long. I'm not going to make this video that long this time. I just want, as you guys research and you look up everything on both of these shootings online, I just want you to remember that these are human beings. These are not chess pieces. These are not pawns in your little political games. Their lives matter. If you are subscribed to my channel and you've watched me cover other stories, you watch those really long stories and I reel you in and you care deeply about the person that I'm talking about in that one story. You get to know their family members. You get to know everything about them in that one story. And I want you to know that every time you see the number 29, 9 for in Dayton, or possibly more at this moment, 20 in El Paso, every time you hear the number 29, I want you to think how much I cared about that one story that John talked about. For every single number you hear, there's countless amount of people that care about them too. There's someone right now that needs psychiatric help because they can't fathom a world without one of those 29 people being in it. They can't fathom it. There's someone right now in El Paso, Texas, that they haven't even realized they have no way to pay their rent because the person, the family, the breadwinner is dead. They're so lost, still thinking about not seeing them, the gravity, the other tangible issues that come along with death hasn't even occurred to them yet. It doesn't matter at this point. They're still gone mentally. For every single person, every 29, I don't want you to think of a number. I want you to see humanity. And if you have a strong problem seeing them as humans because of some racist agenda you have, then
imagine she's white.
maybe that helps. So I want to end this and I want to tell you guys a story. There's a couple by the name of Jordan and Andrea Anchondo. And they took their 5-year-old daughter to school for the first day. And as they took their 5-year-old daughter to school for the first day, just a couple days before, I was taking my 5-year-old son to school for the first day here in Atlanta, Georgia. They have a 2-month-old son. Now, I want you to think about how short 2 months is. 2 months ago, I was at CrimeCon. I was at CrimeCon 2 months ago. 2 months ago, I had just met other true crime YouTubers, all excited. So I can look back and I have something that I can think of to know exactly when they were in the hospital delivering their son. Well, I was enjoying my time meeting people such as Stephanie Harlow, Danielle Holland, John Lorden, Gray Hughes, and we were all having a great time. There was a couple in El Paso, Texas, in the hospital having a little boy. It seems just like yesterday. Prior to me going to CrimeCon, and I look back when I bought my ticket to CrimeCon way back in February, January sometime, that means that she was about 6 months pregnant. She was about 6 months pregnant. So she was about 6 months pregnant. He's going to every doctor's appointment, happy to have a son. And I just put myself in the shoes of this young couple. And then I look at their photos of the day their son was born. And I'm like, who sits in the bed, holds a newborn in their hands, and think, we'll be dead in 2 months. So this young couple are walking through Walmart on an average day. And as they're walking through Walmart, gunfire takes off. As the gunfire rings throughout the store, I would assume Andre is trying to get his young family out of here. And he sees the shooter. He jumps in front of his wife. And he dies. He jumps in front of his wife. His wife protects their baby. The shooter is shooting so many times with a semi-automatic weapon. He kills him, he kills the mom, and the mom falls on the 2-month-old little boy. She falls on the 2-month-old little boy, causing him to break 2 of his fingers. Now, if you think about newborn babies, they're very, I don't know what I'm looking for, but they have very limber like limbs and they're not as firm as adults. So you would think I would break my finger a lot more easier than a newborn baby. His fingers could bend in ways that mine can't due to the bones not solidifying all the way. So it would take an enormous amount of pressure to break 2 fingers. Have you ever heard a newborn baby scream when it wants its mom? Have you ever heard a newborn baby scream in the middle of the night when it wakes up? I want you to amplify that scream with the newborn breaking 2 fingers. So many dead bodies all over the place that when the newborn goes to the hospital after they pluck it from under the mother, it's listed as baby Doe, John Doe, because they don't have any way to identify the baby at this particular time. These are people. These aren't numbers. These aren't another way to push your political agenda. These are people. Victims of senseless killing. That's all.